Welcome back to another episode of the Course Creation Incubator. I'm Gina Anativia, your course coach and digital strategist, here to help you get your course done and marketed. If you're listening, you very likely know the power of having an online course. But do you know the long-term trajectory of where you can go? I wanted to give you an example of a very busy consultant who decided to give courses a go, and then opportunities just blew up from there. Susie Menkes is the founder of Healthy Little Sleepers and my dear, dear friend. Susie has a background in development and is certified in pediatric sleep and child behavior. I worked with Susie on her first course years ago as a done for you. From there, she's joined my accelerator, my architect, everything I have to offer. Now, Susie has an amazing journey to talk about that started with that Mastering Newborn Sleep course that we worked on and has cascaded into monthly trainings, workshops, influencer opportunities, and so much more. I think she's a shining example of what can happen when you put your first course out there and then doors open to you as an expert. I wanted to bring her on so you could see the different doors that she knocked on and that then opened up for her as she continued to sell her online course. Also, as a course coaching consultant, I believe in the power of having coaches and mentors for myself. I talk about it all the time. I have a business coach, a sounding board, a fitness coach, and I have a mom coach, and that's Susie. Because listen, I'm not one of those gals who knew how to take care of babies or kids. I was a total tomboy growing up. So when we had Tristan, I had no freaking idea what I was doing. Susie is my mom mentor and gives me incredible advice because she is the best parenting expert out there, period. All right, let's listen in to Susie's journey so you can start planning your own. Susie, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here, Gina. I have so much fun with you always.
I should have had you on the podcast a long, long time ago. I talk about you all the time on the podcast. I'm sure you know. So it is awesome to have you on because we have a long history that I talked about as part of the introduction. But let's go back first. And let's start way back when, years ago, when you were a very successful consultant and you decided to take a step into online courses. Like, why'd you take the leap?
I mean, I got my certification in sleep in 2015, and I had been working in the sleep industry since 2012. And I was going through it, and, I saw Amy Porterfield's, webinars that convert back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I took hers, and so that was probably like a good 6 years ago. And I had every intention. I was trying to get all the stuff done, and I just couldn't get it done. And it was like month after month, it was just never ending. And then I heard you on her podcast, and I was like, oh, get it done for you. I need Gina now. So I contacted you, and it was history from there. I mean, you helped me put my very first course together, and we continue working together. Like I still need you.
I know you're one of my favorites, so don't tell anyone. Just kidding. But before, like when you were listening to Amy and you were thinking about courses, like what made you think I wanted to do this? Like you just got your certification. Why not just be a consultant? Like you're a very, very popular, successful consultant. Like why even go into courses?
Because there was only so many people I could help individually.
Right.
And I really wanted to get this information out to a bigger audience, but also with support involved, right? So there's still a boutique feel to it because all of my courses allow for support actually with me. So that's very different than a lot of online, I think, sleep courses out there where they're just like online and you go, or you go to a Facebook group. Mine is like, I keep them small. We get into the detail. I support you through it. And if you want it, right, you can just buy the online course without it, of course. But I think a big part of sleep training is really having that support, and because it's hard, right? And there's a lot of different ways you can actually go about sleep training.
Mm-hmm.
So while the information is there, there's nuances involved too with every family, and every baby is different. So, and based on parents' philosophies and values, getting the support is all about guidance and guiding them in the right direction for their family.
Yeah, and I love that. And also, Susie, you knew your secret sauce going in, right? You knew, hey, I'm boutique. I'm not gonna welcome 1,000 students into my course at any time. I want to be able to work with these families in a customized way, right? Also, I feel like your approach is very unique. Like I took the parenting boot camp with you, and there's zero judgment, and you are generous, but you don't let us off the hook. So I think there's a secret sauce there, and you knew that was an approach that you could offer to courses.
Absolutely. And expanding into, like you said, the parenting boot camp, the child behavior. And it's just when I come to you for guidance, okay, this is what the next thing I want to do, but I want to do it different than my sleep course. I
Right.
keep learning from you, like new tactics, new strategies, a new way to deliver something that, relevant to the people who want to come.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's great. And you're easy to work with too because you have a great comfort level with the tech, which sometimes I know new course creators, I was talking to my tech manager Ivy about this, that sometimes people just feel intimidated by tech overall, and then we just kind of discount ourselves, right? Like, oh, I'm not good at tech, so I won't be good at creating courses. But you have a comfort level with, geez, with Canva, Squarespace, with Kajabi. Like, where does this confidence come from?
Um, you know, I've always been kind of I think I can figure it out type of person.
Yes.
But the first time I built my website, which before any other platform, was on Squarespace, and I got the 2-week free trial, and I started it, and I was like, hell no. And so I walked away from it, and then I went to something else. And then I said, hell no to that too. And I was like, wait a second, let me come back to Squarespace because I do like the lay of the land there and how everything is laid out. Let me see if I can figure this out. So I called them and asked to like re up my 2 weeks because I just like let that pass.
Right.
And they said, sure. So I started playing around with it. And it's just about getting in there and
Okay.
figuring it out. Like, okay, I want to do this. I don't know. Like, what if I do this? Nope, that's not what I want. Right. It does take some time. Um, but like for my website, it was just page by page, right? So
Yep.
I built the first page and then I need a page for them to buy. And then I just kept adding to it. Right. So
Okay.
now I have a book now button, and now I have a contact button. Now I have a newsletter page. Right. So it wasn't like everything all at once. It was like, what do I need now? I need a front page where people can know what I'm doing and book a package or contact me, right? And then you build from there. And then with the other ones, with Kajabi and Canva and Active Campaign, again, it's just getting in there and figuring it out. And all of those platforms keep growing themselves too. So every time they have an update, I'm like, shoot, now what do I do? But it's just about figuring it out. And you know what? All of them have great help desks.
Yeah. Do you use the help desk a lot? Do you ask a lot of questions for support? With
If there's
support?
something I can't figure out and I've spent like a good 10 minutes, because I usually can figure it out within 5 or 10 minutes,
Yes.
I will contact support. Absolutely.
Okay. I think part of this is you have the patience. I think like you are a very patient person. You're a mom. You teach us moms and dads, right? So I just feel like sometimes I don't have the patience for these things. But I love that you're saying like you break it up. You only try like little bits at a time, right? Baby steps. You contact the help desk. Is there any other like kind of tips you have for new course creators who are just frustrated or intimidated by the tech?
I also watch their video tutorials. They
Mm.
often will have a video tutorial. Or if you Google, how do I um, lock this page before, on Kajabi, I don't want this, updated. Like it's really all like, there's a button. Let me see what this does. Oh, okay, that's where that is. Okay, when I need that, I'll know to come back. And then I'll be like, shoot, where was that again? And then I'll find it. Right. I'll eventually find it. I know it's like in a vicinity. But it just, like you said, it is time consuming. So a lot of times people don't have time. But this is kind of one of those mindless tasks where I can have my computer on my lap with the TV on at night and kind of play around and figure it out, right? That's like no brainer time where it's not time that I have to actually think and write and produce. It's no brainer time. And so I use that, on my downtime, maybe when the kids are sleeping.
Okay. I love that. And I know you maximize your time. Another question I have for you, Susie, if it's okay to ask, I know I didn't send you this in advance, but how do you make the time? You've got 2 kids, you've got a thriving consulting practice. How the hell do you find time to build workshops and courses?
I break it up. So I have, as you probably will start hearing them in the background, because my dog just busted my door open. um, I break up the time. I don't try to do everything all at once. If you have a bunch of ideas, like I always have running in my head, I just got to pick one and go with it, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
knew when I started, I wanted to start with newborns because that's where everyone starts. And
Yeah.
from there, those newborns get older. And then what do they need? They need 4 to 18 month workshops. So then I built the 4 to 18 month workshops. Then those babies grow up. Now, parenting boot camp, right? The
Yep.
toddlerhood, the tantrums, all of that. Next up is, bedtime battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things happen. 3 to 5 year olds moving to a bed, right? So it's just starting where your families will start and then moving up from there.
Yeah, I love that. And you did stick with that newborn niche for a while though, which is I think a really great tactic for you because you wanted to make sure you were selling what people wanted, you had time with the course, you promoted it a few times, and then you started expanding your offerings, which I think was a really great move for you. And then you've been selling your course in different ways. Like talk to me about you've been holding these workshops, right, for a while now. So I love this strategy for course creators listening right now.
Sure. So I thought about different ways where I can get the word out about my courses. So there is a company called Hatch Collection, which is a maternity brand, and their headquarters are in New York, but they were also out here in California. They had a store, and so they held events. And so I contacted them, and I started holding my newborn sleep workshop for pregnant families,
Yeah.
people expecting. And at first it was great because it was nice and small. It was in, the shop itself. So I
Yes.
got to
They were so
meet
cute, those
the
pictures.
mommies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, COVID hit.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, okay, I can't go to the store. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, do you want me to deliver this online instead? And they were like, yes.
Ha!
So
Great.
what turned into a small niche in the Brentwood store turned into more global because I got the New York store, I got anyone who followed Hatch Collection, and was able to deliver the workshop. Now the workshop is a segue to my newborn course because
Hmm.
there's only so much information I can give in an hour with Q&A. So I stuck with understanding newborn sleep, a lot of what is misunderstood in kind of media, and educated them. So they felt like they were getting really good information. But there's so much more that, hey, guys, I would love to continue working with you in this newborn course, right? And here's what it is. Here's a discount because you joined me on the Hatch Collection, right? All that stuff. So it's great because even though I was talking to like 300 people who registered, like the actual percentage that's going to continue working with you is probably a lot. I did not probably, it is a lot smaller, right? Not
Right.
everyone's going to jump. So it was a very good segue there. And then I also worked closely with pediatricians' offices, which was the same situation, right? I was going in their office, giving my newborn talk, and then COVID hit. And when I went in office, it was probably about, out of 10 seats, maybe 5 at most would show up live in the office. And then when we went online, it was like sold out, like always 10
Great.
people. And we really couldn't go bigger than 10 because it wasn't, it was a different, it's a different market, right? I'm not
Yes.
selling to them. I'm helping them more one-on-one. And even with that, I get most of them coming back for more,
Oh, of
right? So
course. Right. They hear you speak, they
those
want more.
10, those
Right.
10 are very like personalized.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them still come back versus the 300, you get a really smaller market, whereas
Yep.
the 10, it's a little bit more personal and they come back for more.
Okay, I love that and the different opportunities you have here. Also, I know you've reached out to like other baby brands, right? And you've done different collaborations. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's another opportunity for course creators.
Yeah, I've actually been very fortunate where I haven't reached out and they've reached out to me.
Yes.
But I highly recommend putting the feelers out there, right? If
Yeah.
there's a baby brand, so one of the first ones that reached out to me to do a live on their Facebook and IG was Juvie, which was so fun. And we talked about, newborn sleep, and we did a live Q&A on their feed, and we talked about their bassinet, having crib side bassinet and safe sleep. I also I've written 2 articles for Juvie magazine. And then Regalo, I was part of a conference with them, a virtual conference most recently. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was exclusive, so it wasn't open to everybody. Um, but it was all about, safety and newborn sleep and educating them on sleep. And then that also opened up to, them wanting me to write a blog for them. So, it's, and then I've reached out to several people for podcasts.
Yep.
Some have come to me. One, actually, I didn't reach out to, but someone else in the similar industry, not in sleep, but more in like a doula, birth, labor and delivery.
Yeah.
She's like, you got to be on this podcast. And she put me in contact with them, and kind of that happened. So things just start happening organically. A lot of it, I think, was also from your accelerator course that I took. You gave us a challenge. I think it was an Instagram challenge to reach
Yep.
out to people, right?
Yes.
And so that's where those came from, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to a few people, not in my niche, but in my industry, and just say, hey, and you're in the same area, you want to meet for coffee, I'd love to hear more about what you do. And then all of a sudden she's introducing me to someone to be in her podcast, and I'm going to be in her bigger VIP package for an article about safe sleep, or, all this stuff.
I love that. Yeah.
So it's about making connections too.
Yes.
And things kind of just start opening up, just
And
putting a
domino
couple
effect.
feelers,
Yep.
a couple feelers out there, and then people just start coming to you.
So if you're listening right now, you could do your own Instagram challenge. So I did challenge the accelerators to, I think, reach out to 7 to 10 people on Instagram who you can collaborate with, right? And you're not asking them to sell anything for you. You're just exactly what Susie is saying. Like, can I get on your podcast, or can you get on my podcast, or I want to write a blog with you, or what can we do together? Right. And I remember that kind of just like it caught on fire for you. Like, I remember for months at a time, you're like, oh, I have this opportunity now and I have this. So I think like maybe it's time for a new Instagram challenge while you've got a lot going on. But so if you're listening, try it out. Yeah, try it out, because you never know the opportunities that are going to come up. And talking about opportunities, now can you talk a little bit about this agency that you're working with that reached out to you?
Sure. So, an educational publishing agency reached out to me to partner with them and do sleep train, like be the brand, the face, the brand face, the
Yep.
brand face,
Brand face.
for sleep training. And it's a niche, not necessarily niche, it's a area of what they do is not, I have no interest in doing what they're doing, right? So I'm
Right.
allowed to keep my private practice and my boutique and my
Which is
one-on-ones
great.
and my
Yeah.
workshops, and they are going to sell basically my sleep training methods and ideas for
Build
a
your
very
audience, right?
discounted price. It's
Yes.
under a different brand name. They'll do the advertising. They still get my support, right? Because the support
Yeah.
is included. But really, it's about a bigger umbrella picture. And they're starting with sleep and under this, baby umbrella. And then we're going to bring on other entities that kind of collaborate with sleep.
That's
So
amazing.
sleep is the first part. Yeah. What I love about it is um, just kind of the momentum that's happening and
Yep.
seeing it going. And I love what they're doing. And again, I have no interest in building that kind of company.
Right.
So that's great. And I can still get, you know, brand face awareness
Yeah.
and help people on healthy little sleepers more boutique.
Yes. And I feel like this is your course creation journey, right? Like you started with mastering newborn sleep and now it's kind of just escalated to different offerings like this.
Yeah. So that's all online plus a Facebook group community with support from me. And I'm in there live every weekday
Yep.
answering questions. And that's very different than what I'm doing,
What you're
right?
doing, right.
Right.
But it's another opportunity for you, right, to get your brand out there, to become a bigger influencer. So I love that. So at this point, Susie, do you feel like you have a process down for your courses? Like you've created courses, you've created live workshops, you're teaching the workshops. Do you have a process down?
Yes and no. I do. It's easy for me, it's easier, I should say, for me now, to think, knowing, since I have done it, it's easier for me to lay out the land of what I need to do in order to get the next one done. There's always something for me to learn though, which is why I need you. Right? Whether it's launching something and how can I sell my next course that I'm doing. Because every course that I've built is a little different from one another.
Yes.
So I think that's unique in and of itself. So while I have a process for the content part and what I want to say and how I'm going to get that done, how I'm going to structure the course and what is offered, I feel like is continuously changing. And I get a lot of my thought processes and ideas from you
Ah,
around that.
awesome. Well, I feel like you are such a learner, and that's why I keep inviting you to everything because I know you're getting something. We talked before this podcast. We talked about a new idea for you, and you're always trying different things. You're always learning. So I love that about you, and I think as course creators, that's part of the game. Like it changes every day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's always evolving. And, I would love to do my other course that I did, my very first one, a little bit differently, but like the content is good and it's there.
It's
um,
great.
you know, thank you. And, but like it's going to evolve. It's all going to happen. So,
Any final words for new course creators listening right now, trying to build their course or get their brand out there?
um, it feels overwhelming and I know it is. But I think it's almost like just like sleep, right? Like what I do. Like I'm good at what I do, and I can do that. Gina's good at what she does,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I need you to help me deliver what I do.
Yes.
So you break it down really easy for me, for us, for anyone who's starting out, because that's where I got lost.
Mm.
Right? I feel like I had so much information, but I didn't know how to deliver it. And
Yeah.
so when that feels overwhelming, having someone to support you and break it down for you is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And
I
so
agree.
that's whoever it is that you find that person to like help you be accountable, make it happen, like find that person. It's just like my clients. Like you can get this done and I can support you through it and I can lead you based on expectations, what we're doing, what to expect, all that stuff. And that's what you do for me for the courses when things feel overwhelming.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. That makes absolute sense. And how can parents learn more about you, Susie, and get your great advice?
So unhealthylittlesleepers.com is my website. I'm also on Instagram, which is probably like the best where you'll see most of me in stories and stuff. It's also at Healthy Little Sleepers. I do live Q&As on Fridays. It can be about sleep or behavior because I've also been certified as a child behavior specialist. And my background is in development. So those are probably the two best ways if you're interested in learning. And I also have a newsletter that comes out
Sign
monthly.
Up for that. Okay, on the website, right? Go to the website for that.
Yep, on the website. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. We'll link to both Instagram and the website in the show notes. So thank you. And thank you for being on. And I wanted to say thank you for being my parenting mentor because, guys, Susie has helped me so much with Tristan. Whenever I have a question, I might get emotional here. Whenever I have a question and he's going through something, I reach out to Susie because you know your stuff. And again, like that approach, you were so generous. You say it in a way that feels congruent. And so I just wanted to thank you for being there for me with raising Tristan. You were raising him with me.
Aw, yay. I love it. You're welcome. And thank you. I think that feeling is mutual both ways. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina.
What did you think? Did listening to Susie give you an idea of where you can take your own online course? Did you think of some new opportunities for your own brand? All right, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week when I talk about 3 critical decisions to make when you're first creating your online course. Please rate and review this episode, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, and subscribe. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.